Diddy's been in the headlines constantly, from raids on his house to his assistant getting picked up and arrested, to, lawsuits from Lil Rob, to Stevie J riding bikes with him and defending his homie. All of it has been part of the conversation. Cassie saying that she allegedly is willing to cooperate with the authorities. I mean, all of it is a part of the Diddy controversy, the Diddy mess that's happened ever since Cassie filed that initial lawsuit in November of 2023. Diddy's life ain't been the same. Well, it ain't getting better. As you know, Brendan Paul, who is a Diddy associate, he's somebody who is seen as maybe an assistant, maybe a body man, somebody who's, just being a professional who works for Diddy. His main assistant, I think, was the language that was used. Well, he has now been charged with felony drug possession. Now, you might say, what does that have to do with Diddy? Well, according to Lil Rod in his lawsuit, this man, Brendan Paul, is not just your average personal assistant, that he's actually his drug mule, that he's the guy that gets on the plane with the drugs. So if there's an arrest or a search or a raid, that Diddy won't have drugs on him. Rappers do it all the time. You have somebody else who holds the gun in his waist, the coke in their bag, whatever, right? So that you don't get in trouble. Well, Lil Rod in that lawsuit, whether we believe the lawsuit is mostly false or not, and I do believe there's a lot of falsity in that lawsuit, he may have nailed this one right, because he said Brendan Paul got the drugs. And when the feds did the raid, when they started doing the searching, they also did some finding. And you know what they found? They found cocaine inside of his bag, along with a marijuana candy. Diddy's assistant is facing some real problems. Now, you catch the average person a little coke in their bag on a private plane, they probably throw that fish back in the water, as they say. The feds don't care that much about a random white boy with a little bit of coke in his bag, or a random black rich person with a little bit of coke in their bag. But the fact that they knew the look, and the fact that they found something, that's not a good sign. First, it means the feds are probably doing some scrutinous analysis of you, not to catch your main assistant, but to figure out how to leverage you. So they looking. So if you did it and you hoping this is gonna pass, stuff like this makes you think maybe they won't just let it pass. That's scary if you're Diddy. But there's another reason why Diddy should be scared, I think. Now, this is a kid, by the way. This kid, Brendan Paul, is a former basketball player. He's 25 years old. He's young. He's athletic. He's probably in his prime of life. He's white. I don't know. He might get the snitching. This guy is not built for jail. And I don't mean that anybody should be built or is suitable for jail. I'm an abolitionist. I'm just saying there are people who could do 5 years standing on their head. As messed up as that is, the truth is they can handle the years. Then there's Brendan Paul. I just don't think a 25-year-old college former Syracuse basketball player who never been to prison before and is clearly living in a pretty nice protected life with Diddy, in terms of the pay, the travel, the exposure to all kinds of shit around the world. I just don't know if he's not going to rat, because the feds are going to go to him. They're not going to say, hey, we just want to give you 5 years or 3 years or 2 years, whatever, for this weed, candy, and cocaine. They're going to say, give us a bigger fish. Who you work for. Now, the problem is when you see, and I mean it rhetorically, they already know who he works for. But when they see a bag of cocaine, they probably think, oh, he has this intent to distribute, intent to sell. Nope. They just do that much coke. He's always carrying coke. He's always carrying dope. He's always carrying pills, according to former bodyguards of his. It is not a complicated puzzle. There's a lot of dope, a lot of coke, And it could be recreational, in which case the police really don't care that much. They don't even go looking around there. But what they're going to say is, you know what? You're looking at 10 years. You're looking at 5 years, whatever shit. You could tell them 3 years, 2 years. But if you tell me what Diddy was doing on the such and such night, if you give me the info on Diddy, blah, 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 got you. We got you. Say less. He's likely going to take that deal. And if he's likely to take that deal, what does he know? How well does he know it? And what can be done to stop him from snitching? What can be done from stopping him from taking Diddy under? Because if he does, then they're going to look at Diddy, and Diddy's going to be like, well, you know what? This ain't all on me. Let me tell you who the big fish is. Let me tell you this, blah, 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 blah. And a whole network of people, a whole web of people could get caught up in some crazy stuff. So Diddy's assistant getting a felony charge is not a big deal on its own. But if he got one, I'm saying if, because I don't know. But if Lil Rod is right and he got one to save Diddy, does Diddy throw him a bag of money? Does he do what allegedly happened with Shine, where Shine just takes the L? And I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying that's the allegations from a lot of people. Like, what does Puff do? What does Diddy do in this situation? It's not clear what to do, but it's clear that Diddy will do anything not to end up in jail. He'll do anything to survive. Somebody's getting thrown under somebody's bus.